Here we are just barreling into 2025, and it's going to be a year like you have never in your life imagined was going to happen. So we are going into a new earth, and we are discovering that it is something that we can't even believe is really the way it is, and we're finding out so much of it isn't the way it is and what is going on. So I want to talk about 2025, and I want to talk about what's going to happen. So right now we are in a time period where starting people that are really into astrology, put in the comments what you know about it or point us to your videos, because lots of astrologers, so I don't need to go into that, but I want to say that these new energies, what are they made of and what are they going to show? So they are made of very high light, and it's going to be coming down onto the planet. Everything is being exposed, okay? But I want to talk about you and your life and what's being exposed in your life, or what are you now able to see that's being exposed in your life, and creating a space where you need to make some new choices, possibly. So 2025 is going to be unveiling all of the work that you've been doing or haven't been doing. So the 3D world was all based on outside solutions and outside things that we needed, materialism and outside things in order to make us whole. Our natural selves and who we truly were completely buried by all of the propaganda frequencies. To speak about it in plain terms, just anything that they've done to us. So TV shows, the beauty industry with all of the makeup, the skincare, all of that has all the healthcare, everything has been flipped to be the opposite of what we need to do. And they've got us basically saran wrapped in plastic. My background, part of my background is I am a licensed esthetician. I've been an esthetician for about 13 years, and I worked in a spa for a couple years. But I also worked as account executive, which is just like a salesperson around the East Coast, and went to all of the top spas. And I'm also a licensed educator in aesthetics as well. So I know a lot about skincare, and I know a lot about the industry and what they've done. And I've transferred all of my care for my skin and my face out of the industry and using light therapy. So everything in my store is using light therapy. So it's oils and light therapy, not plastic. So I was on the whole train, and I even worked for a skincare company that sold sunscreen. That was a sunscare company, and it was a mineral-based sunscreen, because I knew that the chemicals in the sunscreen were not good. So all of this is to talk about how these things, your sunscreen, your clothing, all of our yoga pants that we wear, those are all plastic. All of our clothing is plastic, and we don't have cotton anymore. We don't have linen and hemp and things like that. And all of that is changing, but it's going to take a little bit to start seeing it into the field. So as your consciousness raises, you start seeing this stuff. So if you're watching this video, you do have, at this point in the video, you do have a higher state of consciousness. I have put together a new earth store. So this is what I've been doing in these last couple of years. Instead of complaining about what I'm not seeing and being upset about the way things have been. So complaining about the school system, complaining about the makeup industry, complaining about this and that. I just went about creating it through my passions and my niche. And I have had a lot of people, naysayers that are questioning who am I and why would I be doing this and why am I coming out like this, because I clicked over. So as I'm telling you about my process of going through personal ascension and to the point now where I'm just waiting for us to click over to the new energies. All of that's being revealed now because everything that you put into work, into practice in the last few years is showing now and going to continue to show or not show. But it's not too late to start putting stuff into practice that you want to do. If you want to start a new business, if you want to start a podcast, like I'm doing, my biggest reason for not having this up was because I was doing different things and I needed to have the artwork and all of that. And AI has really helped with that. But AI has slowly migrated to being able to be an assistant. So I spent the first part of my years, the last 3 years, looking for a physical assistant, moving, creating my home, creating my business, and it's evolving and changing. So if I would have waited and just like had the ideas in my head, but not actually implemented them and go forward, I wouldn't know and be able to utilize the AI that's available now because you kind of got to walk into it. Hopefully, I'm not jumping all over the place. What I'm really telling you about is the transparency that's happening now, the authenticity of yourself and how you've really felt about yourself is totally going to be laid out there now. And everybody is having experiences and situations happen to them for them to realize that they can do it themselves, that they are sovereign, that they have the power within them to create the life they want. We're no longer going to be in a situation where we are a certain type of life or mindset is forced on us. It's going to be true freedom. And that comes with a lot of responsibility and requires you to be at a very high level. If you haven't been doing the work, as we say, up until this point, it's going to become transparent because your life, your physicality, your spirituality, all of that is going to become very difficult and hard. But the great thing about it is that you can just turn it over on a dime. So you can just decide, I'm done with this. I'm done with making excuses. I'm ready to go forward and set yourself up for success. So this is what I did. And it forced me kind of to either do it or don't. You're either going to do it or don't. And so you want to come up with things that set yourself up for success, and put yourself in situations so that will create success for you and create that vibration of success, which success is anything that brings you closer to your true divine blueprint and who you truly are. That's what excites you. That's what gets you up in the morning. That's what makes work not feel like work. Everybody is going to be doing work based on their passion and what they're good at. So, what I'm really good at is researching, understanding information, and translating it into practical knowledge. So, and I love to talk and I love to share information with people that I know will help them. But I've run out of family members and adult children that don't want to listen to me anymore. So I started off by taking it to TikTok, which some of you guys, that's where you know me from. Actually, it'll be 3 years in March. So we're coming up to it. But everybody, when I say set yourself up for success, so that is signing up for a class maybe that would teach you things that you want to know. So if you want to learn how to use a piece of equipment or learn how to do software, or whatever, you just start with YouTube and just look up a lecture or look up something that has to do with that. Go on to Yandex, which is a great search engine that's very expansive, and search for your subject And you don't need to have all the answers, and you don't need to be perfect before you begin this. And that is something that has paralyzed all of us for many, many years. And worrying about what other people think of us. So we're going into the quantum world. We're in the quantum world. I keep on saying going into, but we are in it now fully. And people are starting to become more and more telepathic, more and more aware of their surroundings and who people really are. You don't even have to speak now. People can just look at you and read your frequency. So I am all about helping you guys raise your vibration, and everything that I'm teaching you and talking about or guiding you is all through personal experience. And I have tried everything and I do everything and keep a consistent routine of this. And it is my life now. And so each day I want to come out here and speak with you guys and give you guys encouragement, let you know that you can do this. Set up a beautiful quantum routine that gives you extreme self care. Self care is no longer just a luxury or a couple hours at the spa if you can get away. This is about every day treating yourself like the beautiful soul that you are, and knowing that your soul and what you want to do and who you are matters. It's not just everyone outside of you. It's not the clothes that you're wearing. It's not your hair. It's not the makeup you have. It's not the friends you have. It's not how many times you go out. There's a little bit of a transition when you're kind of letting go of your old ways. So everybody wants to be creating a new higher vibration routine for 2025. If you haven't done it yet, you want to get this together. And it is very easy to do when you're understanding that you are finally surrendering. You're finally surrendering to the lie that you need to take care of everybody else before you take care of yourself. It also brings to the point that why are you taking care of everyone else at the cost of yourself? Is it because you don't actually want to do the work and it's a good excuse to use your husband or your kids or your job as an excuse for not elevating and performing and continuing to be angry and judgmental and limiting in your life? Those kind of hard questions are questions that we all should have asked ourselves or should be asking ourselves now. So instead of freaking out about the things that are going on in the world and going on outside of us, we want to start really asking ourselves, why is this triggering me? Why do I feel this way when I'm around this person, when I hear this? What does this mean to me? What is my fear associated with this that is making it so that I'm not connecting with this? What's going on? Those are the questions that we want to ask ourselves. We don't want to just continue in our same routine because 2025 is not going to allow it. So the consciousness is raising on the planet. And what is consciousness? Consciousness is all around us. And you have a biofield, you have an aura biofield around you, and you are an electromagnetic being. And that your being is magnetic and gives out a pulse, and it comes from the heart space now. It actually always has, but now it's 100% from the heart space. So anything that you do that is not in alignment with your heart, it will no longer, you will no longer be able to sustain it. Any issues that you're having in your life, in your relationships, in your job, it's because your soul is crying out and is not going to allow it anymore. So you want to let all of this go and surrender to everything. and understand how your field works, that you do have a biofield. Your thoughts are magnetic and they go out, and everything now is like attracts like. So, whatever quality of thoughts you have, that is the quality of what you're going to get back. So let your ego go and let that person who cut you off, let that person who's getting all the promotions, whatever it is, you guys have so many different things. Let it go. Don't let it be a reason for stealing your joy. Thank you. So for these next couple weeks and all of that, it's time to clear the decks on whatever you thought you had planned. If you're going to have a Thanksgiving celebration, if you're in the US, make sure that you're doing that out of love and not out of obligation. Don't have people there that lower your vibration. Don't feel like you have to put up with conversations that you don't want to put up with. All of that is not going to serve you anymore. You need to be authentic, and you can be authentic through love. Yes, people won't understand, but everybody is getting to the point where they are starting to understand, because they themselves are having to elevate their consciousness and act out of the heart space, because they're not able to get what they want and have the life they want if they're chasing after money. They're chasing after wealth. They're chasing after status and brands and all of that. You guys are seeing it with what's going on in the world. Anybody who's been part of that, it is all breaking apart. And we are just having a new, higher energy. And what is happening ultimately, in a nutshell, is that the way things were done before, the energies before, are now not supporting, they're not high enough to support this higher energy, which comes from the love space. And you notice Elon Musk rockets and everything is about love, because it's an actual frequency that we're going out of. So lots of information about this, about living in the quantum. I hope you enjoyed today. Let me know in the comments where you're at with all of this. What questions do you have going into this quantum? It's no longer a choice. We're in it. And it's a little bit rough when you're feeling those frequencies being moved around in your field, and you're starting to notice that maybe the way you've been doing things and living isn't really right. But there's this in between time of figuring out, well, what do I do? How do I live? So that is what I help you with. So let me know, you guys. It is a beautiful day here in South Carolina on November 13th of 2024. So I'll be back tomorrow and we will see where this takes us. And let's see you guys implement this. Remember, put yourself in situations that will aid in your success and that will bring you towards what your imagination is wanting and the truth of what you're wanting, what you want to do with your life. Money is not going to be an object coming up here in the near future. I know that sounds crazy, but it won't be. The new template does not make money a commodity in order to do things. So get to thinking about what you're passionate about and look into it. Look into, if you want to have an e-commerce store, look into that. If you want to have a podcast, look into it. If you want to start baking, if you want to cook, start cooking. You can make a cookbook now. We need all this new stuff to come out, because there's going to be this huge gaping hole of where celebrities and all of that stuff. But now it's us, it's you. So bring your gifts out, bring your unique vibration out. Don't care what other people think. This is the time for it. Everybody wants to see the unique thing. Nobody wants to see the old beige and white kitchens and clothing. We're done with that. We're here to show our unique selves and share it with one another. Have a great day.